Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on Lost Creek Canyon Ranch. Today, Linda Rivkin will be taking us to the back of the ranch and showing us the garden and so much more. Come along for the journey.
We're going to go up to the back of the ranch. And in the back of the ranch, we have our screen house, which people think of as a greenhouse, but it's really not. It's a screen house without windows, and basically it just keeps a lot of the insects and birds and such out of it, so we can grow our vegetables. So we're going to head up there right now. We're passing our workshop, our goat enclosure, our pig enclosure. Now we're kind of going through our forest area. You see all the big trees that we have here. Trees that normally don't grow in the desert, but they certainly grow here. They're huge. We have to have an arborist come every year and check our trees and do some trimming. Down below here is a patio, and we can bring out all the cushions, and we can do barbecues and special events, catered dinners down there during the summertime. Here's our last rental. And over here you'll see where it says Life Source. That's our reverse osmosis for all of our water. We don't have gas company up here, so we have to bring in our own propane. And since we have our own water and we don't use city municipal water, this is our water tank. So at the bottom of our water tank is a ultraviolet cleaning system to take out the bacteria. And then it goes, every house has their own reverse osmosis. So this is the gate that separates us from the main part of the ranch, Rancho Principal, to back of the ranch. And we try to keep this closed because we have a lot of predators that are back here, and this is like the barrier between our dogs and the predators. Up here is where we have our avocado growth. It was here before. These are more new avocado trees with one pomegranate tree. We had a tenant who had a donkey, and although she swore her donkey wasn't eating our trees, we put a camera up there, and lo and behold, her donkeys were eating all our avocado trees and killed them, so we had to start again. Over here you're going to see a small little corral with two areas for horses right over here. And you'll see that it has snake fencing. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little 1/4-inch fencing that goes along around it, because this is a high rattlesnake area. We don't use this too often, but we put it together because this is a high fire zone, and all around the county is high fire zone. And there are times in Banning or Beaumont or Cabazon where there's a fire and people need to move some of their horses and some of their goats or what have you, and we can put them up here and they can spend the night, and they'll be safe because we have bars on the windows and chain link, so predators won't be able to get to them. We've also had a couple instances of people who are doing the Pacific Crest Trail, which is just a mile up the mountain from us, and they know people who know us, and they'll ask if they can come and use this as a rest stop with their mule or their horse and spend a day or two. And we have an area that they can sleep in, and then their horses can stay up here. So now we're coming to our screen house. All right, let's go on in. So you'll notice these green panels. Those are temporary panels that we can make different size structures with. Again, if needed for evacuations of other animals, we can put them together almost anywhere on the ranch. They're pretty easy to pick up. We can make quite a few spaces for animals that need to be in a safe zone. And we also have a big corral up here that can accommodate, 3 or 4 horses. We bring our horses up here during the heat of the summer just because the trees offer it a little more shade. And we put a sprinkler on and they just love it. Come on in. So you can see all the screening on here. This is where we grow our vegetables. The people who rent here can each get a bed or 2. Right now, we have some potatoes growing. We're normally fuller this time of the year. Just this time of the year, this year, we had to pull everything out because the gophers were getting in and taking all of our plants. So we pulled out everything, we pulled out dirt, and we ran mesh netting along everywhere. So now that the gophers, they can't come up. So we're gonna have more success this year. Last year was a total flop. We got a lot of squash. We have our tomatoes. We have our herbs. Looks like some basil and such. Looks like more types of squash. So this is gonna be a trellis that things can go up. And we try to keep this active year round. We have our chilies right here. Cilantro. We've got strawberries. Looks like we have some cucumbers. And when this fills in, we'll get lots and lots of leaves of different things, and we'll cut a lot of the leaves and give them to our tortoises. It looks like the wind came through and blew a lot of this stuff on the ground, unfortunately. Well, that's it for our greenhouse and our orchards. We have fruits and vegetables that grow other places, but not on purpose. They're not planted by us, but we'll see that as we go through, especially wild grapes and squash. Well, I don't know if you can catch it on audio, but the birds are singing so beautifully. I don't know if you can hear them. But, I just pinch myself how lucky I am. So you go up and you work on a garden, and this is your views with running water, the mountains, the valley below. 15 minutes away, I'm in the hustle bustle of Palm Springs. But it feels like I'm worlds away when I'm here. This is something to experience. It's why we have tours. And you can't put it into words. You're a good videographer, but even the best videographer can't capture really the feel and the beauty of this place. It's just overwhelming with all the things to see and experience.
Most people, when I ask what their experience is like, they say it's more than what they expected. They just thought they were coming out to see some animals or just maybe some land here and there, but the history and the stories and the views. Even as a cameraman, I had to put the camera down and just take it in.
Yeah, nature is just so different up here.
Yeah, if you look in this direction, you can see so many different levels from the mountains to the trees, and all of a sudden you see the highway, and then there's windmill, and then there's more mountains, and then there's snow at the top of there.
The San Jacintos.
It's 100 degrees outside.
Well, not here. Right now we're about 85 up here, but it's over 100 in town right now.
Yeah, but there's snow up there.
Yeah. And running water, I don't know if you can see it, but we'll see it later. The water's running.
This is the bee house right here, down there?
Yeah, yes. That's where we keep our beehives. And then they have so many flowers and fruit trees very close by, so we have so many bees. We do not have a bee shortage here. Our trees, we're constantly finding beehives in them. But those are our own beehives, our own bee boxes. And we're trying to keep the wind away from it, but we have very, very heavy gauge chain link on there and dug deep into the ground with cement because the bears are constantly walking by there and trying to get in. So it's practically bear proof. We have cameras that have shown the bears trying to get in, and they tear up the screen cloth. We have to replace that quite a bit. But we get quite a bit of honey out of that. About a year ago, cashew reached over to see what a rattlesnake was and got bit on the nose. And I think the following day or the same day, one of our dogs got bit by the rattlesnake. We called the equine vet. He came and fixed it, $700. We brought Sailor, our Great Pyrenees, into the emergency room, $7,000. It's a good thing we had insurance. I would have thought it would have been the reverse, that the equine would have been more expensive than the regular vet, but apparently not. Anyway, so what we did is we used to have smaller snake fencing that went down lower because the snake couldn't get over. But now we've put it up higher because we don't want the horses to be able to take and put their heads through and reach the ground to get bit, and any snakes that are on the outside. They won't be able to get in the inside though because of the snake fencing. A lot of it goes underground. But we'll put on some sprinklers that go in circles. The horses love that. They have the shade from the trees, and it's just a nice break during the summertime. And they like being walked up here. They think that's fun. Side of the hill here, we have all these different water pipes, and they all end up going to that black tank that you saw. And we have two sides of the ranch, the east and the west, each have water ponds that get water from up above in the San Bernardino Mountains. So it's snowpack, it's runoff, it's springs that seep down into us like an aquifer. And we end up with the water rushing through our property here, and it goes into some ponds. And the water, we have some boxes, which I'll show you later. It goes through this box, which makes some waves. The sediment goes below, and it pushes it through the pipes. And it goes uphill and downhill with different sized pipes and creates its own pressure, no electricity. It's just amazing. This was done years and years ago. And it brings us tons of water to our tanks. And the rest of the water flows through, meets up. We're like a tributary to the real Whitewater River, and it meets up and joins it and goes into the aquifer that's down in the East Valley. So what remains of that? But it serves a wonderful purpose for us and for all the wildlife that we have here. We have some of the best birding you'll find here, and butterflies galore. It's because we have the water, which creates, you know, all these beautiful trees that the birds and the butterflies use to stay alive. So anyways, these are some of the pipes. In the morning, the first person who comes here to work hops in a truck and they do a safety check, and part of their safety check is to check all the pipes. And then as we close up, we do an additional safety check. And then during the summertime, there are times when I'll have to do a secondary safety check, mostly for the pipes, because if they bust, there's so much pressure going through, we'll have a good water slide, a landslide from all the water. And we just want to make sure that that's not going to happen. So, because we have feral cows, and the feral cows really, really, really like to step on all the pipes. Years ago, they were all metal pipes, but we've pretty much changed them to PVC. And the previous owner, she used cheap PVC, and so they would get brittle and break constantly. So we've had to replace it with a heavier PVC, a heavier series PVC. And that's what you're going to be seeing throughout here. And they will be smaller and larger pipes to create the pressure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This concludes this portion of the tour of Lost Creek Canyon Ranch, the garden, and some of the parts of the back of the ranch. Stay tuned for the next video where we take you even further into the ranch. If you enjoyed this video, please let us know. Hit the like button, subscribe, and a bell notification for future videos. We'll be back with more. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.